Hey, what's up? This is Spider-Prime1 back in with another Transformers video review. Alright, we're going to start looking at the Autobots in the Combiner Wars. And the first, we're kind of going to go in the backwards orders from what we did earlier. So we're going to go with the Legends, then the Deluxes, and then the Voyagers. So first, we're going to look at Powerglide. Powerglide is hands down one of my favorite of the Generation 1 mini-bots. Him and Warpath. And we're also getting a Combiner Wars Warpath, who unfortunately is just a repaint of the Legends Megatron figure. But I'll talk about that later, if I do end up getting him. But Powerglide is the same plane he always is, the A110 Warthog. It's funny, he has a really long landing gear here in the front, and then there's molded landing gear in the back, but the way he sits, he kind of slopes to the back. I don't think I've ever seen this plane do that before, but then again, I've only seen this plane in real life once, and that was a long time ago. So I could be wrong, and they may have gotten it completely right. I don't remember. But the plane mode is really nice, other than the obvious arms under the wings, but then again, that was always part of Powerglide, and so it's kind of unavoidable. But yeah, just the profile of the plane looks really nice. Looks even better when you fold up the landing gear. So let's turn him into a robot. And first we want to start by lifting up the landing gear. And then we want to take the wings and we want to fold them forward like this. And there's a port and a peg here for when you're going back into plane mode. And then you want to put this tab into that hole by folding the wing up. And so we'll do the same on this side. And then we will come here and we'll unpeg the arm from the wing, unfold at the elbow and bring it down. Same on this side. And then we will pop the fuselage away from the rest of the plane. And then while it's out, we will turn the nose cone, which takes some doing until you start getting used to it. And there's Powerglide's head. And then you want to unpeg the back part of the fuselage away from the legs. Fold it up just to get it out of the way. And then slide the whole plane part down so that his head sits a little closer to his body. And then we'll fold this back down so it's not, sticking out. And then we want to fold the wing bits back behind the feet and then fold the feet down. And then just stand him up. And there we have Powerglide in robot mode. And Powerglide, I love the way Powerglide looks, and I love that they have the fuel injector on his head. A detail that's usually left off, and on Viper doesn't have it. So this is for Powerglide only. But it's a really nice touch, and I really do like it. For articulation, you can turn his head, but it's kind of hard, especially between the wings. He has ball-jointed shoulders, and then you can bend at the elbow. No waist articulation, unfortunately. And then he has ball-jointed hips that can go, about that far. And then go forward, and go back, and then if you lift the little back piece back up, you can have his leg go back a little further. And then he's got a ball-jointed knee, and then you can kind of pose his feet if you want to on the point that the transformation joint, but it doesn't really look all that good. So, but yeah, it's a really good robot mode. And when I originally bought him, I didn't know that they were doing the Legend triple changers for all the combiners, so I bought it just for Powerglide. Excuse me. And then I noticed on the back of the package it said it was a triple changer, and it showed his third mode. And so I kind of struck pay dirt on there. And so we will do his third mode now. So what we want to do is we want to fold his arms back up and peg them back into the wings where they were before. Kind of takes some doing. This piece here, you want to fold it up, and it's going to be essentially the scope, but only from the front, which is where the character isn't looking at it when he's holding it. Pop the fuselage back up, turn his head back in, fold out the landing gear because that's going to be the handle. Fold that up, and then just peg this back into where it was before. And then we want to take the feet, fold them back up, take the wing bits, and then fold them to the bottom now. And then the thrusters, you want to slide all the way up until it kind of frictions to stop. There is no stopping though, so because I've actually slid it and I didn't feel the friction and then slid it all the way off. So be careful when you're doing that. And then we just peg the legs back together. And this is cooperating with me this time. Usually it doesn't. Like that. But you got to have the legs done just right, otherwise it won't sit well. And so there is Powerglide in his gun mode. So he's got the double barrel, triple barrels up here, and then he's got two rocket pods molded in on the underside of his arms. And then this is the scope, and then, like I said, the landing gear is his handle. And then because I have an arm already in its arm mode, we'll just go ahead and plug him in so you can see what it looks like. So there is Powerglide in his weapon mode. It's a very good figure, and I'm glad that I picked him up by mistake. I just wanted Powerglide because I wanted a Powerglide because he's one of my favorite characters, and I just happened to luck out that he was one of the Triple Changer Legends figures. But he's very worth picking up even if you're not doing all the big guys to make, like Superion or something like that. And like if you never use his gun mode, he's still a good robot and a good plane. So very worth hunting down and picking up, in my opinion. So I'm Spider Prime 1, and I'll be back with another aerial bot pretty soon. But until then, I'm signing off.